Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. This is the deep analysis for Bitcoin to see what we have, of course, after this, I would say, crazy week for Bitcoin, where we saw new lows and very aggressive moves. So we'll see, of course, on the all-time history here for Bitcoin with our parabolic curve, where are we heading and what we might expect next. So basically, we have, of course, our impulse here for wave 1. In the first cycle, the second cycle as a correction, and unfolding the third wave here for this impulse. And of course, within the third cycle, we got another correction in a wave 4 and a 5 again, of course, to finish up, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse in a wave 1 or wave A. So this is, of course, a 3 cycles impulse finish for Bitcoin over there. And we saw, of course, another deeper correction, which it was, of course, our last bear market, where we saw, of course, a very massive move towards the 15K, and we were, of course, around the 72K over there. And then we pushed, of course, very low during the Ukrainian and Russian war and the FTX, of course, corruption or whatever, bankruptcy. And yeah, we saw, of course, the crypto market was suffering so much at that time. And we started our bull run, of course, which it was our last one, where we saw also the support for the crypto here exactly from the US government and many governments, of course, around the world. We saw, of course, Bitcoin thriving again for a wave 5 here toward the upside to finish up, of course, this impulse as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So very nice cycle for a bull run, of course. Obviously, we have finished the wave 5 in the top here, where we might have, of course, another 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finished wave 5, and we start, of course, a very deep correction. Now, this wave 1, I would say that it is unfolding after, of course, the major wave 1 or wave A. We got, of course, a wave 1 there, and we're looking for a wave 2 and then 3, 4, 5 continuation towards the upside. And that because whether we are in a wave 1 here, finished impulse, we are looking for the wave 2 finished, and we're looking, of course, for a wave 3 in the blue count. And that means the wave 3 needs to be, of course, an impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as well. Currently, we made our wave 1. We got a wave 2 so far. It can be a finished wave 2, but we're going to explain, of course, much more deeper what are the possibilities there. But what we are expecting here is a wave 2 and then wave 3, 4, and a 5. And in case we are in a wave A here in the orange scenario, you're looking for wave C. Therefore, it is the same impulse that you are looking for is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So whether we are in an ABC here or a 1, 2, and then 3, and then, okay, 4 and a 5, this is even for the next cycle, so we cannot talk about it right now. But both case scenario, we're talking here about wave 3 or wave C needs, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Currently, this wave 2 is, of course, can be finished wave 2 because we hit already the fib levels. However, what I would like to mention here is that this potential 1, 2 can be very shallow, especially if you are in wave 3. Because if we are in a major wave 3, that means right now this is a 1, 2 of your wave 3, and you're looking for the wave 3 of the wave 3. And that is, of course, the most impulsive and the most massive wave that you might get here. And this wave, normally when it starts to unfold or when it wants to unfold, the previous wave, which is wave 2, normally is very shallow. It doesn't go very, very deep. And therefore, I'm looking, of course, for a shallow wave 2 here to not surpass the 52K, honestly, as we saw, of course, as per our analysis, and then start to unfold a wave 3 toward the upside. So basically, if we dive inside it here, inside our bull run there, we can see clearly that after having here the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hour bull run, the wave 2 here, it was expected to be potentially what if the wave 5 was finished there, and we were expecting a wave A, B, and a C wave 2 there, right? Because the wave 2 can hit, of course, the 1.618 here as an expanding flat. Now, my problem with it, of course, we went very, very deep, very aggressively. We surpassed the 1.618. without finishing a structure of 5 waves. And that means if we are looking for a structure of 5 waves, this has surpassed so much the 1.618, and it is of course outside the range of an expanding flat there. It gives us of course highest possibility that this wave 5 then it has shifted to this high here, and we're looking for a deeper correction in a W, X, and a Y. Potentially to reach, of course, the 0.38 fib level, which is the minimum requirement, which I still believe it can be taken at 56K500. So this scenario is still possible there, of course, where we might get a continuation for the drop here in a WX and a Y, hitting the 0.38 and then pushing toward the upside. As you can see, of course, the range here, the strong technical area is showing a very strong area here for Bitcoin, where we are, of course, right now retracing from it, starting to see some retracement, and we might, of course, still dive inside it a little bit, but I doubt that we're gonna break this area low, which is exactly the 49K500. However, if this happens, well, of course, there is different possibilities here, which it goes for a deeper correction wave 2, meaning it doesn't matter anymore if it is a wave 3 over 3, Bitcoin is weak, the market is not applying the same as it was for Bitcoin before, there is something wrong in the crypto market, right? That means we are going really very bearish, and that means, of course, we might shift here to something as an A, B, and a C potentially for Bitcoin, and we might see, of course, a 0.618, 0.786. Of course, after the failure of this area here, because if we break this, well, I believe, of course, we might break even the 0.5 directly, and then, of course, pushing toward the downside. Once we break this area, well, this is gonna be an easy drop, for the wave C there. And it might be, of course, our wave 2 ending up, of course, in and around the 24K and the 34K for Bitcoin here for wave 2. In this case, of course, we can see, of course, something pushing towards the upside. Now, in the time perspective here, well, it is very likely that this, of course, might take some time, whether with this wave 2, the short one or the longer one, because the time right now taken, of course, from this wave 1 is a little bit far than before. So I'm going to explain. The time was before as an expanding flat, where the wave 5 has finished there. We were taking, of course, the wave 5 finished over there, and we were estimating here a wave 2. So the wave 2 in that case was supposed to be finished over there, okay? It was supposed to be finished over there because we took the minimum requirement 0.38. We're very close even for the perfect time here to push toward the upside, which is still can be possible in case we are W, X, and Y, but I don't want to give this possibility because I see it a little bit far, because it can be a W, an X here, and a wave Y as well. But yeah, because we took the high, it looks much more like expanding flat, but it has failed. And also the wave Y anyway is very, very deep. So I doubt it, guys. Okay. So what happened, of course, is that we are going deeper, and it has confirmed that something much more deeper is going on, opening, of course, the timing here to be even, much more longer for wave 2, meaning, of course, we might reach the minimum requirement right now at this area. And that means, of course, starting from this area here to reach, of course, something as a wave 2, that means it's going to be, of course, a little bit longer time. It can be, of course, a W, X, and Y wave A here. We can see a wave B potentially, and then wave C, and then pushing for higher. So this is the first possibility. Or it can be, of course, something as a continuation here, downtrend, as something very deep. It can transform, of course, to an impulse there, ABC, zigzag, something like this, to reach, of course, the deepest wave 2 there. So the impulse there, it can be, of course, in several 1, 2, and this is your wave 3, but we need confirmation, of course, that this is a wave 3, 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5, and then A, and then B, and a C, and then pushing for higher just to finish the time. So yeah, hopefully that we don't get to this far, of course, with Bitcoin, because it's gonna take a very long time here. Now, the expectation of the timing that it might, of course, start to push toward the upside is October 2026, and the perfection would be in March 2027. That means in case that we are going to go sideways in a regular flat, of course, it might take until March and then pushing for higher. But if it's going to go very deep in an impulse there and breaking this testing area, breaking this stronghold area as well, driving directly to this area, well, we're gonna expect, of course, something as a deep correction ABC and then pushing for higher later on. So that will not be a good signal for Bitcoin. If we dive, of course, again to this area, that will be very destroyable, I would say, for the crypto market this time. So this is regarding, of course, the all-time history, the parabolic study, and let's dive a little bit, of course, inside the micro level on the daily for the channeling here. So as we mentioned, for the last bull run, we got, of course, our base channel here. Once we exit the base channel, it is, of course, a signal that we are in a bearish market here. And as you can see, of course, the price has fought very hard against, of course, this base channel and as a resistance, and we saw the massive drop. Now, there are, of course, a new channeling here that you can see, of course, taken from this potential wave 1. Because, of course, this is an expanding diagonal. It's not allowed to be a wave 3. You cannot call it 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Therefore, you can only, of course, call this a 1, 2 here. That means this is your wave 3, and especially that the volume is the highest amount there. So if this is your wave 3, definitely, of course, this is a 1, 2, 3 here, unfolding toward the downside. Now, in case that this is the wave 3, therefore, of course, you want to break the base channel again. As we saw, of course, it was broken, but it went back inside it. Now, today we see again some weakness a little bit. So, yeah, there is, of course, some risk to come back to something bearish. And if the price will exit decisively I would say, this channel, so this might be very, very deep, guys, and we might, of course, push in the wave 3 there, and of course open the scenario for the deepest correction here, and we might, yes, look for the 34K for Bitcoin, guys, to the 30K area. So we'll see, of course, how this is gonna unfold, but yeah, we are very, very close, of course, to break again outside this base channel. If we do and we continue the impulse, that means, of course, the 1, 2 here, the wave 3 has been confirmed. Okay, and if this will be confirmed, of course, we're gonna dive in the possibilities. So as a W, X, and a Y, right now we are looking, of course, for this possibility as a W, X, and a Y. If the wave Y will reach the 1-to-1 fib level and retrace, that would be fine. That would be a signal that we might be, of course, in W, X, and Y. We might still be, of course, in 1-to-1 fib level here. And you would like to see, of course, a push toward the upside impulsively, of course. But if this doesn't happen, and of course the price breaks the 52K here, impulsively, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Yeah, so that means, of course, we are shifting to a deep wave 2. This means, of course, once you break the 1-to-1 fib level here, this is going to be, of course, a wave 3 over there, unfolding, and then, of course, having a wave 4 and a 5 to finish a wave 3 there in the magenta scenario, and then wave 4 and a 5, of course, to finish your wave A. And that means, of course, it's going to be very, very deep correction here. It's going to be, of course, a huge impulse where you have a double 1, 2, wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, wave A, and then wave B. And then, of course, to reach the perfect time, don't forget, you might still need a wave C, and to finish the structure in 3 waves, corrective, don't forget. And then, of course, pushing for higher again for Bitcoin. So these are the possibilities right now for the bear market. Unfortunately, of course, due to the very low prices that we saw, and it has confirmed something more than just an expanding flat here is unfolding. Therefore, of course, we have shifted here to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, or of course W, X, and a Y. So one of these scenarios will unfold basically. So currently, I'm looking, of course, what's going to happen here. So we'll see, of course, what is the possibility over there. So we're going to see, of course, this on the lower time frame. So basically, after having here potential double 1, 2, so we are still estimating here the wave C. In case we are in an A, B, and a C for the wave Y, the wave Y is a double 1, 2, and wave 3 is given. Wave 4 is still unfolding here, as you can see, as a 1, 2, 3. Wave 4 and a wave 5. No invalidation of bearish yet is given. On the lower time frame, we saw some impulse or start of an impulse in double 1, 2, wave 3. Now, we got a problem over there on the 15-minute chart. You can see, of course, that the problem with this wave 5, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It took the high, but an expanding diagonal, which I don't like it. It's very rare, and it is a signal of something wrong going on. Also, it can be something corrective and pushing for lower, but I doubt that this is a wave 4. Look at the time differences, of course. That's too much. Therefore, higher possibility here that we have finished a wave 5 expanding diagonal for this gray scenario, which it can be at the same time a wave C. So we gotta be careful. It can be, of course, an A, B, and a C here finished, and we dive, of course, impulsively again, especially that you might have finished a wave 4 also, and we might still be in 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, currently, we see an impulse again, 1, 2, 3, no invalidation yet, and the wave 3 is double 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, that it might still be unfolding toward the downside, and we might still get a 4, 5. So, definitely, we're gonna, of course, invalidate in this case. In case, of course, of continuation downward, we're gonna take the 65K 923 here, and, of course, invalidation of the bullish, and that means, of course, continuation in 4, 5 here. To finish up, of course, our scenario, which is, of course, here 4, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, you still have double 1, 2. Now, it still can hold on here. I mean, it can still holding on the wave Y in this case. Yeah, so because our wave Y has to be at the 52K here. So if this happens, it still can be, of course, a finished W, X, and a Y. And if we see, of course, a chance here for a pullback, for a stronger bullish impulse there, it can be, of course, a possibility again to be bullish from there again for Bitcoin. But yeah, as you saw, of course, on the all-time history, the probabilities are a little bit lower, especially, of course, regarding the time that expected right now to push this this bull run. Yeah, so we gotta be careful. Now, it can be, of course, maximum the shallow scenario here, as we saw, of course, like turning this into an A, B, and a C for a wave 2, and then pushing for higher in a wave 3, of course, for Bitcoin for a new bull run. Yep, so this is the deep analysis for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.